You are listening to an all-new episode of the Model Experience podcast, live from the Model House.
The Model Experience is the #1 resource for models. Real models, real stories, real resources.
Visit themodelexperience.net to learn more and be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Model Experience.
We've seen you on the runway. I'm sorry. As an actress, how much modeling do you do? I mean, we kind of touched on the fact that you shoot like magazine covers and, you know, there's like promo shoots for your movies and stuff. Yeah. How does that go hand in hand?
Do you feel like it's kind of synonymous, actress and model, since...
Yeah, I do. I think when it comes to like when, you know, campaigns, when it comes to stuff for movies, like the actual poster itself or content, if it's like TV and it's like, you know, there's content and photos that they use just promoting the TV show, whatever it is. And then also photo shoots just in general, whether it's for magazines, rather for whatever it may be for, there's a lot of that, you know, and I learned a lot from like watching other models and like hearing people talk about like, you know, find the face or the positioning that you like that, you know is going to be something you can depend on, that you're going to look good in that picture. So I do that. Like when I take pictures on the red carpet, when I take pictures
just about to ask you
with fans, you know, I always position myself in a certain way because I know what my better side is to me. I know what the face pose, the body angle, you know, for the most part, how I want to look.
How do you know?
I practice.
In the mirror?
I practice in the mirror.
Selfies?
I mean, not anymore. No, I'm terrible at selfies. I'm garbage at selfies. It's so sad. It makes me say, you're so good at it. You could do it and it'll look like somebody else took your picture. And I'm like, what? How did that happen? It's very impressive.
How do you...
Real life.
Thanks, girl, because I can't manage to get it on the damn red carpet. So I'm trying to figure out, like, can you give some pointers for, like, red carpet photo shoots? Like, how can you just pull the trigger?
You said something last time we were on the red carpet. You're like, turn your face the opposite or something. I was like,
you like find the light or something.
All of that. Finding the light. Because that's always like when you find the light, it blows you out a little bit, so it covers like little imperfections that probably no one else sees but
so
you.
Face it?
Yeah, facing the light. Facing the light helps.
Can you give her a lesson right now? Tell her.
Yes. You know, keeping your face at a certain angle. Like when you go too low, you're always going to have shadows on your face. So if you keep it here, and sometimes you're going to put something else on it, you bring it a little higher. You know, exactly, a little chin up.
Well, it's like up and like out.
And then
I know you can't see us, but we're really practicing.
You can see us one day soon, because we're recording all this because we know you guys are going to want to see what's going on.
Yes. But yeah, you just find, you know, what way you feel you look best, and then when you take those kind of photos, at least you can guarantee a good shot for a camera that you can't control, or, you know, be like, can I see that? Can I take it again? Yeah, that part.
What you're saying, Megan, is you don't need to do a class with me. Because you know I'm a model.
You don't need a coaching class. But you know what? I think that we're learning to the day that we die, and I feel like we should always continue to learn. Everybody has something to give someone. So yes, I would totally take classes with you, because I'm like,
you heard it here first.
Some new tools in my toolbox.
But do you have like a mentor, or like do you go through coaching like in any way? Like
I know you work with like Ivana.
Ivana Chubbuck.
Do you still study the technique?
You know, I studied so many for so long that I got to a place probably around, it was like almost 10 years ago, where I was like, okay, I've been studying and using all these for so long. At a certain point, I just have to trust my instinct. Like I had a acting coach from like age 11 to 26 that actually traveled with me, like worked on every audition with me, went to my auditions with me, like, you know, Carnetta and
Mama Netta.
Yeah, I mean, she'd come to my house that week. We'd work on it one day, work on it another day, go to the audition with me. Like she was basically like my crutch, like my safety space. Yeah. And so when I finally took the training wheels off, I realized that it was really about trusting what was already there and what had been there for so long, implementing, you know, it's kind of like going to college. It's like taking everything that you got, but then once you're out there in the real world, you just have what's in your toolbox, and you actually got to trust your own instincts. And your instincts, you know, they're unique because they're yours.
Right.
And so as I began to trust that, I realized that sometimes there are certain techniques that I implement, and then other times I just get very, very present in the moment and trust myself. And a lot of times that's when stuff that I didn't even know was in there just pops out. And I'm like, oh, that was cool.
Well, speaking of what happened, because let me tell you, you know, this girl does her makeup for most shoots that she does.
Your makeup looks really good.
She does her own makeup.
It's the light blowing it out slightly.
Can I ask you?
I did.
Why do you do your own makeup? Because that's like kind of rare.
Yeah.
What is the? Why do you do it?
Yeah.
And
Beyonce does it too.
And,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Does she?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so why do you do it?
I was working on this movie when I was like 21, and one of the actresses, I think her name is Holland Dozier, she was doing her own makeup, and I thought it was the strangest thing I'd ever seen because I'd never seen that before on set. Yeah, and so, and then also I've always been like since day one, since I knew anything about makeup, the makeup artist would do my makeup, and then I go to my room and I change it, but hers was the base, you know, and so. Just recently, like in the last few years, I realized that I don't like face makeup anymore. I really only really like tinted moisturizer, or like today I don't even have tinted moisturizer on. Like
we're
I have
both like that.
Concealer, bronzer,
Same way.
yeah, that kind of thing. But it's just
Like the skin to show.
I think it makes you look fresher. I think it's more youthful. It doesn't crease as much. And so what I found is that when I'd ask a makeup artist, okay, well, here's what I like to use, they would still put too much on, like trying to make coverage out of tinted moisturizer. And then I have a certain way I like my nose to be, contoured. I have a certain way I like my brows to be. I'm particular about makeup falling into my lashes, which most makeup artists make it fall. I mean, they're not paying attention to your lashes. They're like, let me get the shadow and liner.
You're right.
Yeah. And then it's just like, I know how I look my best, or at least how I feel like I look my best. So instead of, aggravating someone and stressing them out, be like, can you do a little more here? Can you take that off? I'd rather just do it myself because I know I'm always going to be happy with the way I look.
So even on movie sets, you're doing your own makeup?
My last movie, I did pretty much my own makeup. However, I was in rehab, so I don't know if that really counts.
Right.
The character.
And that was our film, but on a lot of times, sometimes the client will want a specific look, so they hire. But this is why we always tell the girls, that we work with, it's great for you to know how you look best, how you feel best. Yeah. Everybody should know how to do your own makeup.
Yeah.
But then understanding that sometimes the client has a specific look, and that's what they're going for, and you have to kind of try to do your best to just let them do their thing, even if it's not your favorite look.
And I think in the beginning, when you're starting out, it's like, a lot of people try to come with their face made up already, and maybe once in a blue moon someone appreciates that, but most of the time they're like, you need to take it off.
Especially being in the beginning.
So I think like in the beginning, pay your dues, rock with whatever, and then as you track along, if you're in a position to say, hey, I would really love to do my own makeup, can your person just do the blush and the shadow so that it matches the theme or whatever it is, but I want to do like the contour and the base, and
so she's letting you know she put in a little time for this right here. That's a little perk later on in the game.
Speaking of putting in time, do you feel like it gets easier like as you're seasoned now? So is it like easier, or is it like the same battles just on a bigger level?
Both. I think that no matter what, you're always still trying to get to the next level. Like you said earlier, you accomplish one thing and then it's like, okay, what's the next thing? And I think you're always, you're always trying to get there, wherever there is.
That next level.
That next level. That's the tagline. I told her
that next level.
She always said, we're just going to take it to the next level. So
there's always the next level it gets you.
There is, and it's like even though people like you would look at, Tom Cruise has a next level, Naomi Campbell has a next level,
for sure.
And we don't know what that is because we're like, oh, that's Naomi Campbell and Tom Cruise, but it's like,
I tell my models this all the time. I'm like, look, Beyonce and Tyra and Oprah and Bill Gates, they don't stay there because it's like, hey, I did Beachella. That's great. See you in 10 years. Like, you can't stay stagnant. You have to have
as good as your last job.
And your mentors and just staying on top of things. And like I know you're really big with your faith, so am I. And I'm sure some of the models listening are too. Like, staying, faithful, and everything you said is like 100%
that's
true.
The foundation.
That's the foundation for sure. Because if you don't, whatever it is that you believe, if you don't have whatever that is being the base that you build everything on, you get out here and you get into the business and you get caught up in so much stuff. This business, every facet of it can eat people up and spit people out, and it does it all the time, and there's no reason why you or I or anybody else is exempt. So having that base and making sure that that's what you build on, that's what you're looking for when you go in the room, it's everything. It's not just super important, it's like the most important thing.
And I feel like you've reiterated that so a few times. So listeners, if there's like a major takeaway that you can start with, because a lot of times it's just getting that start with your foundation. Start with the inner work, and knowing who you are, what you want, what you're trying to accomplish, and really just set a base for yourself. And I think that's like already giving yourself one good foot in the game. So we're gonna just I was gonna ask you. Go ahead.
Question.
Go ahead. I know. We're like, I was supposed to get to the last one, but we're gonna go ahead and ask you. And then let's do it.
You were in a music video in like your early career. A lot of the models that we work with, they like transition into music videos because it's like a good kind of like stepping stone. Do you feel like that helped you in any way?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think in some cases it has hurt people.
For sure.
For me, I was coming from being a child actor who at that, like when I did the 21 Questions video, I was 21.
Oh,
and I was still, and I was still playing, 16 in some stuff. And so for me, it was like, how do I make that transition from child actor to adult actor? And that was one of the things where, my manager at the time was like, don't do it. There's going to be guns on set and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no.
Like, I'm from LA.
Right, that part. But I am from Santa Clarita though, too. But I was like, no, because for me, it was strategic. It was like, here's an opportunity to have a national commercial of my face. People are going to see this more than they see most movies. You know what I'm saying? So if I can use this as a tool to get me over the hump. I never thought of a music
video like that.
Yeah. To me, playing someone's, wife or love interest who was blowing up at that time, to be able to move it in a way where I was like, this can actually help me go, I'm grown. I'm an adult. I know I play this age, but I'm actually a grown woman. And so most of the videos that I did, it was really about like, how do I use this to transition something that can ultimately help the perception.
So that's important. So when they're taking on these jobs, you really have to figure out, how is this helping me to go to the next level? Don't just do a video just to be doing a video. Set your intention with things. She had a clear intention, like, look, I'm trying to transition out of one thing into another. And then that way too, you don't fall for anything. It's not like going out there like, oh my gosh, I found myself in a thong booty clap, and that's not what I was trying to do, because I really want to be Angelina Jolie, but right now I'm Jolina Angelina. And so it's important that you set your intention when you're trying to make these moves, and you're not just taking every opportunity. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. You have to make sure it's within reasoning with your character and who you are and where you want to be
and where you want to go.
And where you want to go.
Because when people pull things back out the box that you did years ago, let me tell you. And people are judgmental, so you have to be really intentional about what you want to accomplish and the decisions you make along the way. If you can look yourself in the mirror and you know that you're using wisdom for where you want to go, then you're good.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well said.
So do you want me to ask her the last question?
So your team didn't want you to do that project, so you made an executive decision, like, no, I'm going to do this. I know this is for me. How often do you find yourself in that situation where, like, maybe people around you or your team is like,
and you have to
all the time. All the time. I'm a big person. I just don't believe in no. I believe in how do we get it done. And if I'm passionate about something, and I've had agents drop me. I've had a lawyer drop me.
You're too ambitious.
No, well, they were just, but kind of. They were like, well, you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, well, I'm asking you. Like, when I first started producing, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? And everyone's like, just kind of be an actress. Just do that. I'm like, no, but I see like Reese Witherspoon and all these people doing it, and I want to do that. And, can you help me get a writer? Can you help me do this? I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll help you. And then nothing happens. So I'm the type of person where if you're not going to teach me, I'm going to go figure it out. And in figuring it out, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I wouldn't have gotten to a place now where I can produce, film and direct film and get money from people to do that if I hadn't say, well, I'm just going to have to make some mistakes until, I figure it out. And ultimately it was mentors, it was other people who were willing to give me information. And even then, it's like, at the end of the day, you have to trust your instincts and keep pushing along. As long as you're making progress, even if that progress sometimes get you in trouble. As long as you keep going, that's how you learn. Okay, so that's not the way I'm going to do that. That's not work. Yeah,
Yeah, and I learned from her coming on board with her directing. It was like not even an option. I just said, well, I'm not even going to tell her that sounds like horse shit. Sounds like something that I'd have to go to Jupiter and back. Some of the stuff you'd be asking for.
Like what?
Like when we were doing the video.
Sisters.
We were doing the written video with Ron. Certain shots and stuff, you were like, we're gonna get this stuff done.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, however, it wasn't even a question. I didn't even bother to ask you a question. I just already know. Just get it done. So it's that great model to live by, because guess what? You can get it done. Yeah. And that's what I found out.
Megan will not take no for an answer.
No. And you know what? In that case, I totally agree. It's definitely necessary when your heart is telling you to go somewhere. You at least got to try.
Yeah, and I think too, when you look at people who've made history, or people are like, oh my God, wow, they did something like totally whatever. Those are the people who are willing to try things, and people are like, girl, you're not gonna make that on time. Girl, we do not have the money for that. Girl, that's not realistic. You probably can't get that person, and so it's like, at least if you try, you know that you did try.
Right.
And when it happens, and it seemed like it was not realistic, like possibly couldn't happen,
it's like,
and you realize that you made it happen.
You're the champ.
Yeah, it's like the best feeling. And I feel like those are the people where you end up watching like their E! True Hollywood Stories or whatever, and you're just like, that was the moment, because they were willing to do that,
Ashley, can I ask her the last question, or you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I just want to mention that we're live, so that's
Hey!
Can I ask a question really quick though?
Yeah.
This is the longest podcast. We are taking advantage of this situation here.
Do you want your own E! True Hollywood story? I do.
I would love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
bucket list for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love that, I mean, I felt like with Unsung, I got to do a little bit of that, but I would love to dive deeper, because there's some things in there that I haven't even talked about, outright talked about, that I feel that at some point I'm supposed to share, because I know it'll help somebody else.
E! True Hollywood Story.
Yes.
That's where you let it all out.
Can I be a guest star on yours?
And so, okay, for our listeners, because a lot of them are going on auditions daily. A lot of them are trying to get a job, and as being on the other side of the table and directing and choosing people for jobs. Is there any tip you can give them, or any advice that you can give them to give them an edge over the competition when they come in the door? Is there something that really makes certain people stand out? What advice can you give them, or what tip can you give them to stand out above the competition?
Yeah, to me it's two things. Authenticity, because a lot of times people come in trying to be a certain something because they think that's what they're supposed to be, and you lose a little bit of your magic when you do that. When you come in and you're fully yourself, you are magic, because there's nobody else like you. What you bring is literally completely unique, and then it's about, is this job right for you or not? But when you come in unique that way, people always remember you, because when something is right for you, you're the first person they think of. And then
that person.
Right.
Yeah, she would be perfect for that. Yeah. And then follow direction. Like, listen to what someone's saying. Don't have the answer ready before they finish what they were trying to tell you.
For sure.
Don't always speak immediately. Process what they're saying. Really think about it. Don't get stuck in doing your own thing in your own way. How do you learn? How do you take this opportunity to get some more tools into your toolbox? And that's the one thing. Anybody, especially directors, when people can't follow direction, you're not going to get the job.
Are there some directors that overcomplicate the direction?
Sure, absolutely, all the time. And then you just kind of have to weed through that. And sometimes that's challenging. Sometimes you just have to let them feel that they're right, and then do what you want. And then other times, it's other times it's and the thing is, when you lose, usually those ones, when you do what you want, they'll be like, that's exactly what I meant.
Right.
So, yeah. And then there's just people who overcomplicate it in terms of how they explain it. Because you don't speak the same language as them. And then in that, you just try to really listen and get what you can from it. Or if you don't understand something, always say, I don't understand, or I don't know what this word means, or you said this, is this what you meant by that?
Right.
And just communicate it. And that's the best that you can do.
Yeah, it's better to ask the question than to keep falling in the wrong, because you're just trying your best to weed it out. Just ask until you get some understanding.
How does that help you with directing?
I learned that some people do overcomplicate it. And so I've also learned that sometimes people try to tell you how to act, which takes away from why you got the job.
Okay, the difference.
Yeah. So for me, like when I talk to actors, I'm always like, this is what I'm trying to accomplish in this moment, and I feel like your character could be feeling like a little bit of this, but you tell me, you download it, process it, do what you want with it, what that looks like for you. And then they do their thing, and if it's great, it's great. If it needs a little more notes, I'm like, that was great, so how can you, by the end of this, I want you to kind of get to this place because this scene goes there, or whatever it is, or this is the part in your character's arc. But I don't tell people necessarily what to do. I just tell them what we need to accomplish and what's important for their character. And I just try to speak to people with respect of what they bring to the table, but still think about the movie as a whole, as well as the scenes as a whole, as well as that character as a whole.
I've watched you direct. You're pretty amazing.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. It sounds really good just from like this, and it's I'm like, oh wow.
You're like, I want to work with you.
My question, and I'm seriously curious about it, is what's your like end game? What's your goal, dream? It always like changes, but what is it right now?
My dream is to have influence for God, to be able to be used in a way to help other women, other people in general, but especially women, especially young women, reach their maximum potential and purpose and quality of life and self-love and all of that. And so my end game is to continue to get influence, and then, if God allow me to have influence so he can tell me how he wants me to use it on his behalf with the passion that he's put in my heart specifically. That's the overall. The short-term things is I really want to do more stuff in the action space. I want young women of color, but in general, to have other women to look up to and say that they are capable of doing anything, and they're strong and they're powerful. And strong and powerful doesn't always mean being loud or not letting somebody disrespect you. Sometimes strong and powerful is what's in here and what's in here and how you put it into the world. And then I want to just like direct more, create more opportunities for other women. People who struggle to get a certain opportunity, I want to put them front and center. And
because all you need is a chance sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's like you just need that opportunity.
Yeah, and you need people with the heart to do that, because that's all we've needed. That's all she's needed along the way. Just somebody to fill in that gap. And as long as you keep doing that, you get to watch people. I feel like we get that. You get that from mommy. Yeah. Like we get that from mommy, because mommy's very like, she loves to see. She loves to nurture people into their thing. There's so many like people that you wouldn't even guess right now that she's really helped give them solace, a place to stay, advice, everything that she has in her. She's been so selfless in what she's given, and I think that's the great part about being a woman. And when you get these things and we're just passing it on, it's like one token to the next. And so hopefully everybody that's listening, as they're growing and they're taking their tokens, you pass it on to the next, and that's what it's about.
And I just wanted to add on just to the fact that notice, guys, like to our listeners, notice she did not mention anything about like tax bracket or like famous or I want to work with this person. It was very, it's rooted in something substantial. Like I want to help people. I want to empower people. Tell you a quick little story. When I first moved out here, I was like, I want to be famous. That was like my entire life from the time I was like 5 to 22. And then the change came though, like I wasn't booking any like serious jobs. Nothing was really like picking up for me. When I changed my mindset of like, I don't want to be rich and famous, or like, why do I want to be rich and famous? Right. Oh, because I want to help people. I want to create these opportunities. I want to, I didn't have Barbies like me when I was a little girl. I didn't have like people that look like me on TV or in the magazines really. I had Tyra Banks, but that was just like one person, So, I just want to reiterate, like, notice she didn't say anything in terms of like money or fame or stature. It comes from a substantial place of, I want to help people. Keep that in mind, guys. Just because there's smoke and mirrors and lights and cameras and action, that doesn't mean that,
That's a good point.
It's all fake. Be
That's
substantial.
What the model experience is about.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Going to the next level.
from the outside in, man.
Megan's like, I'm trying to get out of here. Stop.
No, I'm chilling. I'm talkative, so
Are you gonna ask the last question?
I threw the last one out, so I'm on need for you.
I know too much about it.
No, I think it's great. I think honestly, we've got like everything that we've been trying to accomplish. I love when we have certain conversations because we're able to get everything in, and the importance of this podcast is just to continue to make that staple, to continue to make these points, to continue to give this advice and everything that we're doing. So I'm actually really grateful for it.
And there's so many common denominators with each guest. Like you said something about failure. Our other guest was like, yeah, you have to fail. Like it sounded like you did your research on a lot of things and you did your homework. Like there's so many kind of parallels with successful people, and a lot of it is like doing research, failing, and putting in the work.
Yeah, exactly. So we're kind of instilling this.
And you only fail until you don't, you know?
Yeah.
And it's fine because it all helps you get equipped to get there, you know?
Zip it. Zip it.
Maya's like, don't you say another word. Maya's looking at me like, if you say another damn word.
Maya's like, I gotta go. I got a photo shoot.
No,
we got a camera right there.
I already booked another me. We're good.
All right. Well, thank you again for being our special guest today, Megan. You're amazing.
Yes.
Where can we find your movies? They're in theaters now?
They're in theaters right now. Both are still in theaters. And then we have another one premiering at ABFF called If Not Now When. It's a directorial debut.
Come on.
Sister duo.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by
Directorial debut.
Like first festival?
First film that I've directed.
Okay.
So and me and Tamara Bass directed it together, and she wrote it. We all produced it. We all co-starred in it. And yeah, it's just straight labor of love. Maya found us the funds to get it done, and we got it done.
The
and
super producer.
The super producer.
Put that soup on it.
In real life. So yeah, it's great. I'm super excited because it premieres for the first time, world premiere at ABFF Film Festival
Hopefully
in Miami. So
We'll be in Miami, guys.
I'm pregnant. I need somebody to stand in again. I have to
Done.
somebody else. Again.
Shirt's cute. Oh my gosh, was he just moving like that?
No, that was me.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that was crazy.
She's like, nephew.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thank you, sister. This was amazing.
Thank you for listening to the Model Experience Podcast. We're signing out from the Model House.
And that's a wrap.